The story begins with a boy named Jin Seok, calm, sensible, yet quietly broken on the inside. From the very start, he could feel that something about his family was wrong. They were acting strangely, as if they were keeping a secret from him, a secret he could not yet name, nor understand. One night, Jin woke up from a terrible dream. His entire body was drenched in sweat, and there was his family, gathered around him, consoling him with laughter. They brushed it off, saying, "You're tired. You didn't sleep last night out of excitement?" Excitement, because they were moving into a new house. But the moment Jin stepped into that house, a chill crawled up his spine. It was brand new, untouched, yet it felt oddly familiar, as if he had been there before. There was his older brother, Yo-seok, the golden child, the one perfect at everything: sports, studies, music. Even the girls adored him. Most importantly, Yo-seok was a kind, loving brother. Jin, however, was the complete opposite. He struggled with studies, failed in sports, and girls never even looked his way. But despite that, Jin never envied him. Instead, he admired Yo-seok. But fate had struck Yo-seok with tragedy. Some time ago, he had lost one of his legs in a devastating accident. Now, because one of the new rooms in their house was still filled with the belongings of the previous tenants, Jin had to share a room with Yo-seok. Jin found it unsettling. Why were the tenants' belongings still here? Why hadn't they cleared them out? But he brushed the thought aside and went to help a worker carrying boxes. The worker glanced at him and asked, "He's your older brother?" Jin smiled and nodded. "Yes." But when the worker asked again, Jin grew uneasy. "Why are you asking?" Before the man could answer, Yo-seok appeared. His face was stern. "I'm calling you to the kitchen. Go," he told the worker coldly. That night at dinner, Jin's father explained that the tenants would move out in a month. Then, Jin and Yo-seok could each have their own room. But when Jin asked what was in that locked room, his father lowered his voice. He said he didn't know, only that the tenants had begged them not to open it. With folded hands they had said, "Please, don't open that door." His father laughed nervously, warning, "You already have a devilish mind. Don't even think of opening it. Understood?" Jin's uneasiness deepened. Suddenly, a sound came from upstairs. Jin froze. Did that come from that room? But everyone looked at one another in confusion. They dismissed it as thunder, and indeed, lightning cracked across the sky outside. Everyone convinced themselves it was only thunder, but deep inside, Jin knew it was something else. That night, while Yo-seok slept soundly, Jin sat listening to his MP3 player, and then he heard it, a sound, a faint, muffled voice. At first he thought it was his imagination, but no. The sound came again, and it was coming from inside that locked room. Heart pounding, Jin crept toward the door. His hand reached for the knob, trembling, but before he could open it, someone grabbed him from behind. He gasped in terror. It was Yo-seok. Jin whispered quickly, "The sound, it's coming from inside this room." Yo-seok frowned, pressed his ear against the door, but heard nothing. He shook his head. "Are you just making excuses to avoid studying again?" And with that, the two brothers decided to step outside, climbing a hill near their house. For a while, it was peaceful. They laughed, talked, shared a moment of calm. But then, Yo-seok's phone rang. "Papa asked for a file," he said. "Wait here, I'll deliver it, then come back." But moments later, Jin's heart nearly stopped. He saw men surrounding Yo-seok, and then, brutally beating him. Jin ran desperately to save his brother, but before he could reach, they dragged Yo-seok into a car and sped away. All Jin could do was memorize the license plate. He rushed home, told his parents everything, and collapsed. The next morning, detectives came. Jin gave them the plate number, but the officers shook their heads. No such number exists. That car was never registered. Days passed. No sign of Yo-seok, no clues. The family fell deeper into despair. Jin's medication doses increased, and then the nightmares began. In one dream, he was torturing someone. When he woke, drenched in fear, he found his parents and Yo-seok standing in his room. Yo-seok had returned after 19 days, but his memory was gone. He couldn't recall where he had been. The detectives interrogated him again and again, but he remembered nothing. Slowly, life returned to a fragile normal, but Jin's instincts told him otherwise. One night, he saw Yo-seok slipping out of the house. Was it real, or was it another hallucination? The next day, when he asked, Yo-seok denied it flatly. But then came the detail that shattered Jin's trust. Yo-seok was limping, on the wrong leg. Yesterday, it was the right. Today, the left. When Jin confronted him, Yo-seok only smirked. "You must be confused. It's nothing." That night, Jin fell asleep at his desk. In the dead of night, Yo-seok crept into his room. He picked up a pencil, held it dangerously close to Jin's eye, and just before it could pierce him, the tip snapped. Yo-seok calmly set the pencil down and left. Jin's eyes flew open. Terror coursed through him. He knew now, this wasn't his brother. From then, Jin followed him secretly. He saw Yo-seok walking without any limp. He saw him giving orders to two men. Men Jin recognized instantly. They were the same detectives who had visited their home. The truth hit him like thunder. This isn't Yo-seok. This is an imposter. A conspiracy. Something horrifying was happening inside their home. When Jin trailed him upstairs, Yosok vanished into thin air, and when Jin tried to escape, men caught him. "You're ruining everything. You're ruining the boss's plan," they growled. Jin pretended to be confused, but when he realized they wouldn't let him go, he bolted. A chase through the night, fear and adrenaline burning his lungs, until finally, he slipped away. But then, someone grabbed him from behind. It was Yosok. Darkness swallowed him. When Jin awoke, he was back in his room. His brother was beside him, sleeping. His mind spun in chaos. Was it a dream, or was this reality? The night unraveled his sanity. He stumbled into the bathroom, locking the door. Yosok's voice called gently, "What are you doing?" But Jin's fear erupted. "Stay away from me!" Yosok, puzzled and nervous, tried to calm him, but Jin screamed, recounting every terrifying detail. Yosok only shook his head. "It was a dream, Jin. You're overthinking." But Jin glared at him. "You're not my brother. Who are you? Where is my real brother?" His paranoia consumed him. When he finally stepped out, pipe in hand, ready to defend himself, Yosok restrained him gently. "You just forgot to take your medicine last night, didn't you?" And suddenly Jin realized. It was true. He had skipped his dose. Tears broke from his eyes. Maybe it had all been a dream. Yosok comforted him, cared for him. Jin apologized. "I ruin everything, don't I?" His brother smiled softly. "It's okay. Rest. Mother will be here soon." But the next morning, Jin noticed Yosok limping again, this time on his right leg. Confusion clouded him. Maybe he had been wrong all along. And yet, when he picked up his pencil from the floor, he found it. The broken tip from last night. His blood ran cold. It had been real. When his mother returned, Jin told her everything. She trembled, promising to tell his father. But Jin stopped her. "No. If Yosok leaves tonight, we'll follow him. Then we'll know the truth." His mother nodded. But later that night, Jin overheard her whispering to the man pretending to be Yosok. His mother knew. She was part of it. Horrified, Jin tried to sneak away, but his mother came to check on him. He rushed back, climbing through the window, pretending to be asleep. She sighed in relief, leaving quietly, but moments later, she returned. "Jin, why are you wet?" Her smile sent shivers through his soul. She picked up the phone. "Yosok, come quickly. He knows." Panic consumed Jin. He fled through the window, sprinting down the road, and then, he saw his father approaching. Could he trust him? Or was he part of this nightmare too? His parents cornered him, trying to take him back. Jin ran, desperate, until he saw it. Hope, a police station. He burst inside, breathless, shouting, "I've been locked up for a month with people pretending to be my family." The officers exchanged confused glances. "How could you not recognize your own family?" Jin stammered, "I don't understand myself. How did I believe them?" Then, a junior officer checked his records. He looked up and said words that would twist the knife deeper. "Your name is Jin Seok. You were born in 1977.